Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Ragged Dawn. Let's level up my companions, starting with the Maragi. Second tier archetype talent and a common talent. Let's do Deadly Calculation. For every 10 damage dealt by the assassin's attack, that attack also deals +1 direct damage to the same target. A common talent, I think we'll just do characteristic training, weapon skill. Then next we get a skill, and an exemplar talent. Athletics. And critical velocity. The character's critical hit chance and critical damage are increased by 7% of their dodge. Alright, Pascal and Cassie have a few levels to go through. Pascal, exemplar talent, and a second tier archetype talent. I think Cataclysm, because I usually open up with an AoE attack anyway. All damage dealt by the character is increased by 3% until the end of combat for every new enemy damaged by them this combat. I'm tempted to start going into a melee build with them. Let's grab Sniping Zone. Each ally in the rear area gains a % critical hit chance if there are no enemies in a 5-cell radius around the ally. And Intelligence. And I guess Tactical Knowledge, or sorry, Improved Tactics. A Tactical Knowledge requires 3 exploits instead of 4, and increases the operative's damage by an additional % once at this threshold. And it scales with Intelligence. And I guess Stronghold Stratagem. We're going to have a lot of overlap now with Jai. It's not a big deal since he won't be in the party anymore, unfortunately. But the Stronghold Stratagem, the Grand Strategist chooses one of the combat tactics areas. For 1 round, allies in that area gain % armor, cannot be overpenetrated, gain immunity to the prone effect, and gain deflection against area attacks. Additionally, they do not suffer injuries for receiving damage. And Intelligence. Alright, second tier archetype talent and a common talent. And I guess Overcoming Zone. Every time allies under the effect of Stronghold Stratagem should have suffered an injury, they gain temporary wounds instead. Though, we rarely take that much damage anyway. I think the only companion that does is Argenta. Let's do characteristic training. Intelligence. So I've ended up investing heavily into ballistic skill in him. And I've been ignoring intelligence for a while. I want to try and make up for that now. Let's do tech use here. And I think Death Dealer. So every round after the character kills the first enemy, the character immediately makes an additional attack, single attack, against the closest enemy they can target with the same weapon if possible. This attack deals 30% base damage with a 10% bonus for each difficulty tier of the first killed enemy. i.e., if the enemy was of difficulty tier 1, its attack deals 40% damage in total. So I'm curious how that works with the Flamer. If I were to give that to Argenta, since the Flamer only has AoE attacks, could it potentially hit multiple enemies? Or will it only hit the one enemy? I might grab this instead. I mean, extra free attack is great. That's a really strong talent. Yeah, I'll stick with Death Dealer for now. We'll grab Know-It-All next time. Alright, Cassia. Exemplar talent and a second tier archetype talent. I think we grab Attention here. So after an ally takes an extra turn provided by the character, the ally gains 7% armor, 7% dodge, and 3 movement points until the end of combat. Does not stack. Let's do Threads and Faults. So whenever an enemy fails a resistance test against a navigator's power, attacks against them gain % critical hit chance. The effect stacks but is reset by a critical hit. And Willpower. And then a first tier archetype talent. Inspiring Speech it's really good. Air of Authority immediately grants momentum to the target equal to the target's resolve. Seems pretty good. They even Show the Path seems pretty good. In fact, I think that's what we'll go with. So Show the Path. This ability can only target allies that have at least one melee weapon and one of their weapon sets. The target immediately gains an additional turn during which they gain the ability to use Charge, and only this ability. And we know what Charge does, so that allows even my main character, because he's only melee. I guess Ulfar. He has a variation of Charge, but it's not actually Charge. And then Perception here. Alright, we'll do Guide of Souls. The Navigator starts all turns, including extra turns, with 3 additional movement points. The first ally targeted by the Navigator with a single target ability each turn gains the same amount of additional movement points at the start of their next turn. I'm only going to grab Navigator talents going forward. I don't think she needs anything else, though we could go with characteristic training, Willpower. Let's grab that. I guess Commerce. And Firebrand. I don't know if there's going to be any exemplar talents that scale with her Navigator. abilities. So I'm thinking we just focus on the officer stuff for the exemplar talents. Because she still is an officer. Even if she never has to use officer abilities to carry a fight. Alright. We're going to go through a lot of stuff. I'm going to clear out my entire inventory. One item at a time. Now, I do want to give them some holy gifts. Just to level up real quick. We get the Focus Melt-A-Gun. Does it do anything special? Just an upgraded version. So we'll end up giving that to Abelard. In fact, let's do that before I forget. Because we're about to do a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, how much larger is that? I forgot we had the Inferno pistol. So whatever he had wasn't called a Melta. Oh, Melta Ultima. Which is worse than the Focus Melt-A-Gun. And also a lot smaller. I don't like seeing Abelard with a very large gun. That's pretty cool. Alright, back to what we're doing. Good time to get distracted. Alright, Imperial Navy, do we have anything that you want? Nope. I do want that new engine, though. We lose 1 speed for much better acceleration and braking. Alright, let me actually exit this menu. I'm going to go through like this. So I'm never going to use this. Could give it to Marijai, but he's not going to be with us much longer. Blooddrinker Staff. What does he have equipped? Sanctified Staff. I think I prefer that. So add to cargo. Don't need the sharpshooter rifle for anybody. Add to cargo. Serrated mono knife we do not need. Really, any Drukhari or Eldari equipment can go automatically. Another plasma gun. How does that compare? It does quite a bit more damage. And really, the overheat isn't a huge problem anyway. Now what is this? A dueling sword? Don't need that. Combat shotgun. I'd only want to give that to Abelard, I think. There was a time I was tempted to give Jai shotguns and have her as like a close-range dodge tank. But not this playthrough. Sardi's chainsword. I think that's the exact same one he has equipped, right? Yeah. He's the only one that can use it. Flamers. Don't need that. Sardi's combat knife. I think that is his special knife, so I'm going to keep that in case we need it. No one's going to use that. How does this compare? A little bit more max damage. but the effect on the reconstructed flamer pistol seems better. So I'm thinking the Wrath of St. Drusus is a better thematic weapon for her. If she's in this situation where she's using a melee weapon, I think that's better anyway. Because then we swing with this, and this uses the flamer for increased damage. And 50% more damage is better than -5 armor for increasing her damage. Don't need the unstable flamer ever again. We're using heavy flamers now. Unfitting Valor. That's not her first one, was it? I think it was. I may keep her weapon. I held on to all these unique items because I wasn't sure if I'd end up going back to them or not. Wait a second. Can he use a Thunderhammer? He cannot. Come on. That's so lame. Sworn Protector. What is that? A last weapon. I don't have anyone spec'd into last weapons. Staff of Midnight. Staff of Endless Flame. As Pyromancy. Staff of Blood. Yeah, that's a Siphon Life ability. So the other one, I forgot what it's called, but it was different. Like more Xenos trash. Life Draining Sword requires Heretical. Heavy Plasma Gun can go. Imperial Pride can go. Fractal Blade, Eldari weapon. Probably should have looked at the, whoops. Staff should be easy to spot. I think the other staff was better. I didn't look at the stats it provides. So 10 willpower here. That has to be a reason why I didn't give it to him before, though. Alright, no shotguns. Don't need that. Yeah, I decided to go through and do all this because... Let's go do that. We're sitting on a lot of stuff we can trade here, and I'd much rather have the equipment from all the trading factions. Power Axe is pretty cool. What is my other... Oh, 14 to 20. Crazy that a Chain Axe does more damage than a Power Axe, but that's not uncommon in this setting, especially with named or unique weapons. Because you have, like, Lehman Russ's Chainsword, Kraken Maw. That's going to outperform a regular old, power sword. It's considered primitive. By a multi-melta. Realized now, I think, when I typed in Melta earlier, I was scrolled down so I didn't see all the melting guns at the top. We've only found the one power mold, right? We'll keep this. I'm not sure why this has a gold border to it. I'm assuming to indicate that we got it as part of the whatever edition of the game that I got. Alright, not nearly as many armors to go through. Don't think I'll ever use the Venom Chainmail. Of course, none of the Jakari or Eldari equipment. What was that last thing that I did? Was that... I'm not sure I could equip that. I already have a Radiant Chestplate on my main character. I still don't know if I want to give Heinrich's heavy armor or not. I think I'll hold on to a set of it just in case. How does this look? Kinda silly. If I give him anything, it's probably the Radiant Chestplate. So I'm going to hold on to that and possibly give Heinrich's heavy armor. The rest of these I think we're safe to get rid of. Hold on. Alright, so logic 10% armor. And reject the flesh rank to tech use. I don't think we're going to have a problem passing any checks. In fact, tech use goes up to 172. 170. That's it. It's not... Yeah, we're going to go with this. We'll hold on to this, though. It is his holy investment. What does Jai have equipped? Oh, awareness to percent dodge. What is her dodge at? 111. If I put this on, what does that do? 108. Alright, so we'll keep that on. Armor and dodge. This seems pretty good, actually. The wearer ignores the first critical hit damage in combat. Then base armor property. Percent dodge if the wearer's willpower is more than 40. 3 times psi rating. I mean, he's the only one I've invested any amount of psi rating into. What does his dodge go up to? Ooh. Okay. I think we'll stick with that. This was really good armor at one point in the game, just because of the weapon that we were using. Shame we can't use this on Marajai. Be really good on him. I think we'll hold on to that for now, too. Alright, now this is where we have to really dig in. Let's see what Pascal has. I'm not really worried about grenade use. I never use them. I feel like it's a bit of a trap, because they fall off so hard as the game goes on. Like, I hardly ever use grenades. This seems pretty good on Marriage Eye as well. But doesn't matter because he won't be sticking around. Which means we also won't have any assassins in the party, so any assassin equipment can go. This is pretty good. I'd have to give it to Heinrichs or Argenta, because they can both use 2 heroic acts per fight. Actually, this would be really good on Heinrichs. But I think Eyes of Joyous is better. Because Heinrichs has 2 heroic acts he can use in battle, and he can keep pumping more damage out with his sword, the more momentum he gains. It's kind of a tough call. I think the side rating is better. Because we don't really have trouble generating momentum. This seems pretty good. The Beat of Might, yeah, I don't think I can give up any of those. He doesn't need to buff up his allies. Oh, this might be good. More AP is also good. Where's Deadeye Shot? Critical hits, triggers, exposed weakness against the affected enemy to the end of combat. That's pretty solid. But so is everything else he has, so we'll get rid of it. Sure. Well, probably not. We'll get rid of that. Yeah, not going to swap that out. Much rather have damage than an effect like the Arch Strategist Mantle provides. Yeah, this is really best on Marriage Eye, the bleeding build that I was going for, but again, doesn't matter. Openings don't matter because we don't have assassins in our party any longer, or won't for much longer. That's not terrible. But we're not just fighting demons, so I'd have to swap it out. Which isn't the worst idea for, like, warp incursions on the ship. We know we're almost always going to fight demons during that. I think there's one time we fought Drukari instead. I don't think that's terrible. But it's also circumstantial. A bonus to commerce. What does she have equipped? It did make a mistake by not investing either Abelard or Argenta more into Meticulous. They do have trouble passing some of the Meticulous checks. There's some good stuff for using consumables too, but I just never use them. It's usually not worth it because there's such a significant drawback for using them. Not the worst. I think that's the first helmet that we found. We just got rid of it. I think this is pretty good. Dynamo boots by themselves are pretty solid. Arguably better than the ergo boots he has. I mean, a little careful because there's a couple things I was interested in giving to my, I think, Pascal, and possibly Cassia. Otherwise, I'll just blitz through this and get rid of it all. See, I think this is pretty solid on Jai. But she doesn't need armor. She hardly gets attacked. Yes, another consumable item. I definitely don't need any of the weapon rings. Those are all junk, I think. I know this is taking some time. But after we do this, we'll get rid of... we'll catch up with all of our officers, do some more trading, and get rid of Marajai. Had on those gloves for a long time, too. Alright, so this might be worth giving to Cassia. Oh, maybe not. Well, I don't know, Resolve is okay. No, we'll keep her at the hood. Alright, we go through the Eldari stuff real quick, and any heretical stuff. I mean, that's not bad. What does, Abelard have equipped? That's not bad on him, but we don't really have trouble hitting, so... And he usually parries any ally melee attacks anyway. I mean, that's not terrible. And we could easily give this to, well, either Argenta or... Yeah, let's go give it to Argenta. She's at the point where she's taking out at least that many enemies per turn. Ballistic skill and critical damage. That's probably better than what she currently has equipped. But only if she crits. What did I do with that? Did I actually equip that? I did. I'll equip those for right now until I find... the item actually unequipped. There it is. Alright. Son of a gun. Did it again. We don't have any bounty hunters either, so I don't need anything with prey or on the hunt. This is pretty good too. You can put in a lot of work with that, increasing your critical hit damage, and then resetting it with a heroic act. Alright. That took some time, but I'm happy, I think, with my decisions. I actually dropped something. And I'll keep that on hand, just in case. And now we do some trading. That's pretty good. Probably good on... I can't have both of these, can you? Psyker's breastplate. Only problem is that Heinrich's... Oh, and it's heavy. Still not bad, though. So it reduces the chance of triggering a psychic phenomena by 10%. If any psychic phenomena or perils of the warp manifest, the wearer gains an additional +1 psi rating until the end of combat. And +2 deflection if the wearer's willpower is more than 50. That's pretty good. I'm going to focus more on Heretic and Xenos artifacts here. They really like that stuff. And we have a ton of it. We just came back from Kimura, so we're pretty loaded. Let's see no artifacts. So the Casterkin gauntlets. These gauntlets grant the wearer a 10% bonus to critical hit chance. This bonus doubles if the wearer has not moved during their turn. Might give that to Pascal. Psyker's breastplate. We just read that. I do want to give that to Heinrichs. Calibrated heavy stubber. Does it do anything special? No. Self-calibrating goggles. The wearer's successful single attacks inflict stun on the target for 1 round if the target fails a willpower resistance test with a -5 penalty. Warp Guide Staff. Allies gain Navigator's Perception bonus, additional MP on their first turn. And Infusing. Allies targeted by Navigator powers gain a +9 bonus to all their characteristics until the end of the Navigator's next turn. This bonus stacks and is prolonged to the Navigator's next turn every time it stacks. +10 willpower and +10 perception. That's really good. A Stormbolter. That's pretty cool. Was there anything else? Oh, they have quite a bit of stuff. Alright, so they want holy gifts. Do we have holy gifts laying around? I don't think we do. Oh, they want heretic trophies as well. They can have all that stuff. I'm short 3. Okay. Well, that's fine. And what do they want? Heretic trophies as well, and Xeno artifacts. And I think all the miscellaneous stuff we're going to give to the Mechanicus. At least one of it they'll take. Oh, there's more stuff. Oh. I made a mistake then. I didn't realize they have upgraded inventories. Okay. Alright, that changes things a little bit. Whoopsies. Alright, we get stuff here. The Swashbuckler Cloak. Whenever the wearer has 2 melee weapons equipped, they gain +10 weapon skill and a 15% critical... and 15% critical damage. I don't like dual wielding, so that's junk to me. Modified Splinter Pistol may be good for... Jai. We'll have to compare it. Arc Militant Boots. Whenever the wearer performs a melee attack after a ranged attack, the target of the melee attack should pass a toughness resistance test with a -15 penalty, or get knocked prone. Armored Body Glove. Base armor property +10% dodge against ranged attacks, and war property +2 MP. And 2 large medikits. Alright, I think all that is junk. Son of a gun, I could have given a lot of that stuff, especially the holy gifts to the Drushians. Dang it. What does he have equipped? Not too worried about it. We have a lot of crit chance by default at this point. I don't think that we need equipment to really boost our crit chance. Crit damage, absolutely. Crit chance, not so much. I do think this is an upgrade for her, right? Yeah, it doesn't divide the navigator's perception bonus by 2. And it's 10 to both stats instead of 10 and 5. And Jai, 8 to 10 versus... deals double toxic damage, though. Increases the power of toxin inflicted by +1 for each successful hit. Alright, so I think what she has equipped is better. Alright, I feel pretty good about that. Well, actually, I feel kind of bad about some of it, since I didn't give more stuff to the Drushians. I didn't realize they had more stuff. Should have checked. Alright, I wish to hear news about the Protectorate. To keep apprised of things. Be appraised. We discovered a world that is home to a long-abandoned colony, founded centuries ago by one of your predecessors. A ship was sent there, carrying several thousand colonists who were to restore the derelict settlement. After the ship entered its system of destination, contact was lost with it, and its fate remains unknown. Perhaps you might like to investigate the disappearance of that vessel personally. Besides, your lord, pirates have been a serious problem for your domain. For centuries, a group of bandits headed by a ship called the Elusive Contempt has been raiding cargo vessels on their way from the Protectorate's most plentiful extractia. Their ability to deftly escape pursuit by patrols has allowed them to operate with complete impunity. The pirates' flagship has been spotted in a nearby system. Your ship, Lord Captain, is sufficiently powerful to finally chase down those brazen scoundrels and bring them to justice. The astropathic choir has received a series of alarming messages concerning the Warhammer 4 system, where a dangerous space anomaly has supposedly manifested itself. Its nature is unknown, but the fabric of space within the system is reported to be curved and unstable. It is said that any ship entering the region disappears without a trace. I believe we ought to be prudent and steer clear of that system. The factotum hesitates, as if unsure that what he has to say is worthy of your attention. There is something else, Lord Captain. The ship's astropaths have caught echoes of alarming messages. Unidentified ships abandoned by their crews have been spotted in several systems of the Expanse. It may only be a rumor, but those who encountered them have gone missing without trace. That is all, your lordship. Let's go check in with Solomon and Ravor. Here we go. Alright, so I asked, have the Vox Spirits brought you anything interesting lately? Perhaps you'd be interested in a Vox transmission I intercepted not long ago, Lord Captain. The thoroughly encrypted message contained the coordinates of a landing site on a certain planet, marked as rare cargo. I have not been able to uncover anything else, but I believe the encryption was intended for those who are involved in unsanctioned trade activities. A multitude of scout ships tirelessly explore the Expanse in search of new resource deposits, but unfortunately not all of them represent the interests of the Von Valancius dynasty. I occasionally intercept Vox transmissions from ships prowling in your domain in search of easy loot. An asteroid the size of a small planet has been discovered in the Soto's tomb system, and the prospectors believe there may be a wealth of resources hidden under the crust. Coolio. Alright. So, while we didn't get a lot done this episode, we did also get a lot done. I mean, look at this inventory. How much more manageable that is.
To what do I owe this visit?
Oh, that's right. I was not going to Grid of Marriage yet. I want to jump in the warp at least once and see what happens. Alright, so this was definitely a housekeeping episode. That's okay, because the house needs to be kept, especially after being gone for so long. So next time, we will begin pursuing some of these quests. I'm going to put off going to speak with the Lord Inquisitor, for as long as I can. We've got a few other things we can do instead. Oh, we have a contract we can do as well. Tools of Righteousness. Intent on bringing the word of iniquity to Imperial compliance. Insenia Chorda is facing a prolonged campaign to weed out the planet's blasphemous element. She will pay a generous price for the formidable steel giants of Kiava Gamma, Vested in holy armor and armed with the Emperor's righteous fury. We spend 9 weapons and get 3 mobile extractiums. This actually popped up when we were in Kimura. I think after a patch, and I loaded in. And I'm going to leave these or leave them up, question mark like that. So I don't forget to do them. Alright, I'm going to call it here. And next time, we'll set out again. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.